Hello, everyone. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me before we get started. There is a breaking news update with STACEY WONDRA, but it's not exactly what's being put out there so far. So go ahead and hit that like button while you wait for me to pull up something to clear the air. Okay, is this any better? Can you hear me any better now? I hope that's better. Dill Pickles, good to see you. Chris for fuck's sakes. Shani Jones, good to see you, love. Chris, my girl, Miss Rubug, and Heart's Faith. Everybody, if you don't know or haven't heard the news, okay, good. I'm glad that that's better. If you haven't heard yet, allegedly, STACEY WONDRA was supposed to be released today from FCI Phoenix, where he was finishing out his sentence unrelated to Michael Vaughan. And throughout the past few months, I have been speaking to a lot of people, including STACEY, during his stay. Here, maybe I can move my mic up and that'll help. I do have a cold. I'm sorry, y'all. Damn the luck. But there's more to it than what's being said. And I want to make sure that everyone has a clear, yo, Cryptics, good to see you, dear. Okay, good. I think it was just too low for me. So I have been speaking to STACEY, like I've been saying, and I haven't gone online and said anything about it yet because there was things going on that I didn't want others to necessarily hear because of the investigation still being technically active, right? Until that charge is official with papers and he's arraigned in Idaho, then I could say for a fact that he has been officially charged. So let me explain and kind of break down what has happened in the past few months, okay? And it's kind of wild. You're going to wonder why things happened the way they did. You'll see. So the first things first is in September, STACEY gave me a ring from the prison he was at, again in Arizona, and told me that his case manager, who handles the release once he's released, because about 30 to 60 days before you get released from prison, they work through any paperwork that you need to do before you leave. And if you're out of state and you need to get back to the state you originally came from, they have to book your flights and all that, or bus, whatever. So in September of 2025, his case manager comes to him and says, "Hey, there is a pending charges that have been sent by Payette County prosecutor Mike Duke, and it includes first-degree murder, kidnapping, and some other charges." And so he did a writ of habeas prosecutum or something like that. I can't say the name. But basically, because Brandy Neal Vaughn was having a liver transplant and they weren't really sure how she was going to do with that, and she might possibly not make it through that liver transplant that she needed, they wanted to go ahead and hurry up the charging of STACEY WONDRA specifically, which I thought was very odd. Okay. I do have that here. I'm just going to go ahead and, yeah, you don't want to see all my files. Um, so let me see here. This was sent to me by STACEY. What I'm about to pull up. And again, what it is that Mike Duke had a detainer sent. But it wasn't really official yet. And because Brandy was having health issues and there was a scare, if you will, they wanted to go ahead and get him to Idaho to charge him immediately. But because her health got better, they said, we're good. We'll wait until a later time to readdress this. And I thought that was very strange because if you have charges, no matter what, you just charge said people when you have the evidence. And I do understand that law enforcement or the prosecutor has a way of doing things at a certain time. Like, I'm not sitting here trying to say that I'm a legal expert in any means, but it was very odd that that specifically was the reason surrounding the hold off or the go. And I'm still confused on that, to be honest with you. So I thought to myself, okay, if you're waiting for the health of Brandy to charge folks, maybe they're waiting to charge everybody at the same time, which I don't see any other charges or anything else going on with any other suspect being named right now. But again, there is no official charge anywhere at all, ever. Not yet. So, but I did know about the September 2025. He's calling me saying that they're planning on charging me, but they haven't given me any papers, anything at all. So he does a writ to say, hey, I want you to provide this information, because they only have 90 days to do so in Arizona. That's what they require once they have that detainer from Idaho. So he didn't hear anything about it once that was dropped. The immediate prosecution motion was dropped by Mike Duke. Yesterday, he gives me a call, excuse me, and says, my case manager came to me and there's a detainer for me from Mike Duke. So what happens at this point? He doesn't know anything about the details, but he was told it's looking like the murder charge was the only one so far. And there could be more. I'm not sure. I haven't talked to him since then, but I will be soon. But they're planning on charging him with first-degree murder. I can tell you that he is not in Idaho currently. He is awaiting an initial appearance due to that detainer. It doesn't say anything about the charges yet, or it's not going to give you that information. There's no charges in I-Court in Idaho that says exactly what it is, but I can tell you that he is definitely being held, detained, and he's not in Idaho yet. All right. Let me pull that up. I forgot to pull it up. I'm so sorry. I'm a little under the weather, but I'm doing my best, guys. I did not know today would be, I did know that today would be an important day. I actually predicted this date. If you go back to a live that I did in April of 2022, I always said that October 30th was going to be a very bombshell day. And I was right. I was right. So here is the record detail. I have more than this, believe me, but I'm just going to give the nice, easy package to give you because it's a lot of information. And I'm not also going to give others any heads up um, about specifics because it's not all what you think it is, okay? There's more to this. But here is his Maricopa County booking. That's in Arizona. The charging details, there's not any information in it because, again, he's being held in a transfer facility and he has to do his initial appearance. Arizona just doesn't throw their inmates to any state just because, for whatever reason, a prosecutor says, hey, we want STACEY. No, there's paperwork, there's a process, there's things that they have to do the right way. Not to mention, inmates have rights that are out of state. They have the right to be heard, and they have the right to demand these charging documents and all of that stuff. Which that's what the next step is. So I assumed in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, why don't you, if you filed a original detainer outside of the one that the motion that they dropped to get him back to Idaho quicker because of Brandy's health, then is that the start time and the start date of this detainer to get him back to Idaho? I don't know. So what did I do? I got fed up and called the attorney general because that's the governing body that signs off on releasing STACEY to Idaho. That's the next step after the initial appearance. And that information is going to have everything that he needs to at least know why he's being charged, what probable or what the detainer entails to get him back to being charged in Idaho, because that's where the charge is, not Arizona. So let me check in with chat before I continue, because you might have questions. And again, I just want to make sure that the record is clear, before we pop off with any speculation. Now, somebody else involved in this case might know a lot more than I do and have that documentation. But you know me, I do not say anything without receipts, anything. And if I do, I specifically say it's speculative. So that's where we're at. Her health shouldn't matter when it comes to charges, right? All due respect, and I agree. Like, no disrespect about that. I've seen liver transplants patients. I've seen them. I have a family member who had one. It's not an easy process, and the risk factors in the first 6 months are just, it's tough. It's very tough. So, no shade. However, when it comes to that being a reason to force somebody to maybe that's just something they worked out. Maybe that was a deal. Because, the documents did say Brandy was a witness. So, I guess a witness is a very crucial person in whatever case or charge is being brought. So maybe that's why. I could understand that. That's the only thing in my brain that I could think of that would be legitimate, right? But I could also, again, be wrong. I don't know. I'm not a professional. He was booked today at that transfer facility at 12 o'clock on the dot. And again, no charging details yet. He has to be properly put through the initial appearance. I am literally waiting as we speak for that because in Arizona, like, it's a 24-hour deal where it just depends because everybody goes and funnels into this transfer system and there's a lot of people to be seen and they only do it at certain times. So once I see him get that initial appearance, of course I will update you. Of course. Is the evidence there for M charges or not? If the evidence was sufficient for M charges, this waiting doesn't make sense. Yeah. So I do know that there is a case number that you cannot see on iCourt. It's been sealed. I asked for a copy of this court document that was not on iCourt. You couldn't find it, but I knew about it because Stacey told me about it. And I saw the papers, and I was denied that. It was sealed. So this charge has been sitting there waiting for a hot minute, and I thought to myself, maybe this was just some kind of thing to dangle over someone's head, you know, to get them to talk, which obviously doesn't work and hasn't worked. Um, so I just thought it was very weird, and I didn't know which direction in my brain law enforcement was going with this tactic with Mike Duke. You know, like we've seen it in other cases, right? Where you think Ellie or the prosecution was going one way and they zip on over to the other side and it blows your mind. So I was very, hey, Tara Boom, good to see you. Yeah, so I just wasn't sure. I was waiting patiently, not going live and not spewing hate, not doing anything, just waiting, talking to the right people. And so, hey, Matt, good to see you, love. Hi, Mimi Jean, Ellie B. So it's been very frustrating to watch the back end of everything that law enforcement has been doing lately and what they have been doing to certain people, that I thought maybe this is just another. I try to excuse the behavior off. And then at some point you can't do that when you're violating rights, in my opinion only. Um Something doesn't smell right here. So then when this happened today, I called the Attorney General of Arizona and or a representative. I'm not really sure if it was the actual AOG, but I think it was. Just by the way he talked. And there are no papers so far on his desk as of 2 hours ago, or 3 hours ago rather, who has to sign off on this situation. Like there's another step. Mike Duke, the prosecutor, has to bring all this information. And I think he might have been in court today trying to get it. I don't know. I think so. Maybe. But he has to send this packet to them. Then he goes, okay, sounds good, and signs off on it. That did not come across his desk today. So there is no official charge yet. I understand that that's been said on A&W, PNW, whatever you want to call her, live. And I was really hoping that could hold off until the official charges were brought. But hey, so we don't have that. Now, if there's a paper that says otherwise and I'm proved wrong, cool. But I don't think that it's right, in my opinion, to jump the gun just yet, because we don't know what's going to happen. Mike Duke has 90 days to get all of that paperwork to Arizona, which I'm sure could happen overnight, okay, if they wanted to. But what I'm saying is that there has to be hearings set. Arizona doesn't work like Idaho. So we have to wait a little bit longer. Get your facts straight, make sure everything is orderly and not lies and not false, because there are other people that are affected. And when this goes to trial, and how and whomever else gets charged, if they do, we don't know if the charges will be dropped as soon as he gets there, if he even is charged. We don't know yet. We don't know really anything. It does matter to those who are also victims of people who do bad things. They really are. And I'm not saying they're more important than anyone else. In this case, what I'm saying is that there are other people that are also affected too. And maybe they may not matter the most, of course, but they still do matter. And they're still processing things. So let's cool it on saying things that are not official. Now, there was a recording I think played. Somebody sent it to me and I couldn't hear it. And I was like, whatever, I'm going live. Let's just get it over with. I don't know who told who what about being charged. I think that was what was told. Um, but we have to wait. We really do have to wait. So let me check in my chat because you know how I am. I will ramble until I put everyone to sleep. So are others going live as we speak about this? Yeah, this other person. Yeah. I think that's the only one so far. LEB also not charging a suspect if evidence is sufficient for charges. Why make a grieving family wait? Right. That's not good. Right. I agree. Right. If you're waiting for a reason, like a pressing outside source or a reason to charge someone, I find that highly suspicious. And I think there's more to it. And that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying, hold on, wait, chill, bro. I know that everyone's waiting for that moment. Believe me, especially the family, but we need to hold on. Mountain Hippie. So, wow, people are putting out charge information without there actual being receipts from police or any officials saying they've been charged. Not that I'm aware of, right? And I know what's going on in the background right now. I didn't want to go out live with it until tomorrow or after Halloween, actually. But you do what you must, right? You got to do what you got to do. So, this facility that STACEY is currently at right now, there's 4 courtrooms that are in this little area outside of the booking process, and he's going to be in one of them to get his initial appearance. And then going from there, this is how it works. Until he gets that paperwork signed off and somebody picks him up, they have 90 days to pick him up. I don't know when they're going to pick him up. It could be tomorrow. It could be right now. I don't know. It could be never. I don't know. But they have 90 days. And they have to, it has to be approved, basically. And then the detainer might be the approval. But from my understanding, because it's a felony charge and the way that it's being brought, that was what the AOG told me. So we shall see. Do we know when he's going to be picked up? Do we know when he's going to be who's going to pick him up? Is it going to be Idaho State Police? Is it going to be Payette County? Is it going to be Mike Duke himself? I don't know. I don't know. Hey, Chicken Stink. Good to see ya. KDO. Welcome, welcome. So, I mean, if these people are supposedly guilty, let's go. Let's charge them. Let's bring them to trial. Why are we waiting? Yeah, it's very odd how it's very odd how they're tiptoeing forward, tiptoeing back. And I've been watching this. I've been seeing it and hearing it this whole time. How it's been unfolding for every suspect, every single one. Okay. And I'm really frustrated at the fact that the threats that are coming to the family members who have that they can't force someone, a suspect, they can't force them to tell them what they've already asked for. I mean, how many times can you ask somebody to tell you what happened and they're sticking firm, and then you have grandpa coming in swinging, I'm coming for you and you next. How is this going to help justice? I mean, do what you do. You're your own person and you have the right to do whatever, but I don't see this as doing right for Michael. You know, that's just my opinion. And I have a right to say that, and I will stand on that. Stop attacking people. I get it. I get it. I get it. However, it's not the right way. It's just not. Hi, Veronica. Dramalks. That's a tough one. Sorry. Good to see you, Cat in the Hat. What if it was your child? Right. That's what I'm saying. I get that. I get that. I wouldn't want any one of my family members going to jail unnecessarily and missing the trial for justice. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't do any good. What are you going to do? What is it going to do to harm someone who just merely exists around this person or is family members? Let me tell you something. Children of these people have been threatened to be killed. So, yeah, just because something terrible, a tragedy happened to Michael, does not give anyone the right to do the same or threaten to do the same to theirs. It's not that way. That's not the right way. Have some fucking decency. Right? Could this be a process in a grand jury trial? That's another great point, Ellie. I was waiting for some grand jury indictment, right? They tried a few times and failed. From my understanding, I don't know that for a fact, but that's what's being talked about. The No True bill was brought back. And I don't even know who was involved in that. Like, I don't know what charges were brought on whom on that. But I do know that there were some no-goes on it and for Michael. And yeah. It could be a grand jury happening now. I don't know. I don't even know if they're in session now. I don't know when they stop. I'm not sure. Or I can't remember. I did it one time. I've just never seen a case this crazy where there's supposedly 4 suspects and a missing kid, and we still have no evidence or charges. We have other Idaho cases, but that's a good point. Koberger and all of the testing for that case alone was definitely a hindrance to results, I'm sure, getting back. I most definitely. I think somebody even admitted to that. And I can't remember who that was, like in the Koberger case. And other cases in Idaho that are waiting to be solved and testing to be done. People have talked about it on Facebook that their personal, family member who was a victim, they didn't get testing back until like 8 months instead of 3. That's just how major cases are. Yeah, I agree. What's wrong with this case? 120 acres. I am behind trying to catch up. Never heard of holding up charges due to someone's health. Never. And it really, I don't even know. Here's the problem. I have been watching this department, Fruitland, do some shit to some people. And it's not ethical. It is not ethical in the slightest bit. And I have sat back and said, it's a missing child's case. Things must be done sometimes. And you look the other way. No, you don't. No, you damn well don't do that. Because that's how cases get mucked up by people like Chris McDonough, who insert themselves in a case they have no fucking business doing or being in. You don't see him around that case, do you? Still working it. No, you don't. There's a reason. Shame. Such a shame. What I know. Cat in the Hat. No, I meant if this was your child that was missing, what is the right way? I wouldn't say there's a right way, but I definitely know that I would not be threatening people around someone that you want them to admit to doing something. That's literally the quickest way not to get a confession if that's what you're wanting. What are they going to do? What did their family members do to deserve that? They're not hiding suspects to protect them. That's not what they're doing. That's not what they're doing. It's being said that that's what they're doing, but they're not. What's the right way to deal with your loved one who's being accused of a crime that they are adamant they did not do and that there's no evidence of? And they're being told this by lawyers who reached out to the police department themselves. What do you do? What's the right way to go about? Do you still hate your child and slam him every day and kick him out and drug him? Like, what do you do? What's the right way on that, right? And I'm not yelling at you, honey. I'm just saying, like, that's my thought process on the other side of things. This is a two-way street here. I truly do not get it. I would be super mad if I was the family's. Nothing's been done. Why is there no evidence? Right. We don't know. We don't know what they have, though. We don't know everything, but it's looking circumstantial to me. Perhaps it's going in a different direction. I have been holding on to that hope because I'm not a dummy. I, I have seen things. I know things. I know where certain people were at certain times. And it does not make sense what they are allegedly saying. I know about the search. I know what happened with this search. I know in at the Greenview Cemetery, I know a lot. And I know what was done to get into that cemetery, that shady bitch over there in Fruitland. And Mike Duke, shady as hell what they did to that poor lady. But I get it. At the same time, I understand the other side. You do whatever you got to do to get justice. But they're professionals and they didn't act like it to me. This is why I appreciate you questioning both sides. Right. Thank you. What happened with Chris McDonough, Eve? Well, definitely the police can lie to you, and that's just know that for the rest of your life. The police will and can lie to you. And the things that they were accusing people of doing, even around the family, was so egregious that, and the games that they were playing to try to get some kind of answer towards people that had nothing to do with it, it was unethical. It was definitely unethical, and he was no longer a part of it. I don't know if he's kicked off of it or not, but he hasn't been around from my understanding. So I just think it's very odd. Why don't y'all stay the fuck away from child's cases when the history is not good for you or has not looked good for you, Chris? I agree. I think we should always question every side, and that's what I've kind of been doing, but secretly. But secretly. Did the family do something, God forbid, accidentally? Could be. I mean, we don't know yet. Anyway, this case has been spun, hasn't brought forth charges. And that's kind of what I wanted to come and talk to you guys about. We got to give the process a chance. I know everybody wants to be the first one to come out with the information, which obviously I don't. I haven't been live much at all. Maybe twice in the past 5 months. But I think we need to slow our roll here. Not right for Michael to do. Just jump the gun. For instance, maybe they're hoping for another suspect or someone else to sing like a canary. And now that they have word that STACEY's being detained right now, I don't care how many charging documents or papers you've seen, which is a clear violation of someone's due process. But anyway, what if it scares off the others? What if they now know, oh shit, I got to get out of Dodge and you'll never see him again? You got to be smart about this. No matter who is involved or not, it doesn't matter. You got to be smart. And YouTubers, as we know, like to fuck that up. I agree. That so-called confession didn't bring forth charges either. It didn't bring anything but wild, rampant speculation. I would really like to know one day why the hell they went and searched. Oh, I know now why, actually. Let me back up. Let me calm down. Take a drink. I'm getting ahead of myself. I know the ins and outs of that search at the cemetery and what they had to do and who offered up services. And I wonder how in the hell Fruitland decided, hey, maybe he was buried in that Greenview cemetery because Brandon's um, grandfather was buried there. And hey, um, ex stepdad was also buried there years and years before that. Maybe that's why they were like, oh, that's where they moved him to, Michael. Because that's sounds absolutely logical. If they harmed him in July, buried him in the backyard, and then dug him up like it was an easy process, and then took him to Lemhi County. Get bent. Where did that come from? That has been a speculation and a thing since they were named. Who really thought that that was an idea? That is so fucking weird to me. Who thinks of these things? And no, they didn't find anything from my understanding. I know the ins and outs of what they used, and I know who provided some information. I know that they had to get plots, how they got it. It's so bizarre, this whole case. So bizarre. My phone is acting up, trying to join. I'll come back to do it soon. Oh, KDO, thank you. I'm just glad you're here. Thank you for being here. Hello, Deb. TMXO, hello. Hey, you catching up? Just heard the news and wanted to give the rundown from you. You already know. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I hope everything's going well in your corner. I was in chats with the whole share debacle. I was I was cheering on like in my sleuth mode. I was cheering you on when I heard that recording of you basically acting like Cher to try to see if he would tell you what you did or didn't do. Brilliant work, by the way. That is very smart. Very smart. But glad you're here, and I hope David is doing a-okay today. And my heart is always with you. Did it work? Right, no. No. They found nothing. And let me tell you a story about, real quick, the search in Kuna. The investigators, including Chris, straight up lied to these people about dogs hitting here and there and everywhere. They said that she had a leaky toilet, right? Remember that whole article about the leaky toilet and the dog's hit? And there was all this hoorah about what Tina, Brandon's mother, said about it. Y'all. A repairman came and said there ain't nothing wrong with this thing. There's nothing wrong with it. Oh, another lie from the police. Okay, great. But here's the thing. I held on to this belief for, and I still do in a way, but it's fading. I held on to the belief that Fruitland Police Department, they had to eliminate any and all possibilities that had come swinging their way before they went for the right people. And whoever that is, it doesn't even matter. Just whoever they are, they had to eliminate certain things to then proceed. Because I think that excavation really just threw everyone off. Because they didn't find Michael back there. We don't know if they found any evidence of such. And if they did, we don't know who did it, how. No matter what STACEY allegedly confessed to. And when I mean allegedly, I mean, did anything that he confessed to was based in any reality? No, not at all. No, thank you. Thank you for being here. Absolutely. So long story short, everything that I'm seeing how they investigated was shady. It was based in fuckery, manipulation, trying to pin one suspect against the other. It's been nothing but just pure, in my opinion, lazy, weird, off the cuff stuff. And again, that's just from my perspective. they could come out tomorrow and say all of the things that make sense, and I could be completely wrong, and that's fine. I don't care to be right or wrong. That's just how I'm seeing it. Um, putting out a video of somebody allegedly confessing is such a no-no. I don't know how they're ever going to, if they charge STACEY, if this is reality. I don't think that they could even get that in court. I'm not sure. We'll see. Maybe. Oh, the meal train is back. I mean, we got to eat, right? There's no true timeline that I have heard that matches over time. Right. Right. I mean, I know too much. And that 6:40 to 7, uh-uh. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Not happen. Didn't happen, in my opinion. I would like to know who all saw Michael besides these alleged neighbors. It wasn't after 4. So, getting back on track real fast with STACEY, which again, if you're just coming in, I am updating everyone not to jump the gun that there are charges officially filed on him for first-degree murder, which they have been threatening STACEY, Sarah, Brandon, and Adrian for the longest time. Their case, I know STACEY's case number specifically, and it has not been live, if you will, on I-Court in Idaho. Not yet, anyway. Nope, no cases matches your search. So it's still not there yet because this is a process. It's not official until you hear it and see it officially. And YouTubers like me or anyone else is not the official. Even if you have the charging documents in your hand, it's not official. You could see the papers all day. They could tell you that. We got to wait. And I wish it could have just waited one more day. If, in fact, it's going to happen tomorrow. Meal train for recovery from the liver transplant and things. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. I think get your 4-year meal train on. Do what you got to do. So he wasn't charged yet. Good to know. That's why I came here for info. Yeah, not yet. Now, I know that STACEY is in a transfer facility because of a detainer that Payette County is holding on him, but they have 90 days to do so. He's just being held right now. That doesn't mean that he's been officially picked up by anyone or let go. They don't just send an inmate to anyone. There's a process, and that's what I was saying earlier. He has to have an initial appearance, and they have to give the right paperwork. Because this is a interstate transfer, this is not a normal one county in Idaho to another county in Idaho. Because he's in Arizona, this is an IAD situation, and a governing body like the AOG, who I spoke to today in Arizona, has to sign off on this. And he said he did not have anything on his desk today. Maybe I wasn't supposed to say this, but the cat's out of the bag. There have been no new developments regarding the disappearance of Michael Monkey Vaughan in 2025, and the case remains unsolved. Yeah, so far. I know, right? Like, and it could be true what they're saying tomorrow. I mean, or in the next hour. But I don't think it's right to say that somebody has been officially charged when they haven't. Because believe me, I would get a call by now by at least 2 people. Bet you that. And probably more. Okay? It hasn't happened yet. So I kind of want to talk about Michael now because I have been reserved for the past year or so after just the drama on YouTube. And I've been busy with life, family first, right? I have always envisioned that Michael's case, when it finally came to fruition, justice actually began for him, and the full story, or at least half the story, would come out. I really feel like everyone did such a disservice to getting here on how we treated each other, how people manipulated others, how they blamed others, how they almost ruined people's lives for assuming it was somebody else that loved Michael. It's just so painful to think back on this case and how divided everyone was and how vile and toxic it became, because I don't think that that's Michael's spirit, right? And so I wanted to honor that in the last at least 6 months as best as I could. And I think that being back behind the scenes and getting to know the people on the other side and what has um how it has affected them matters too, right? Because people who are merely related to a suspect, they don't deserve damnation. They don't deserve that, and they've been getting it. Um, I believe a police officer told one of them that, bless him, or her, that Idaho has the execution, firing squad by execution, right? And that's what they deserved if they don't take a plea and we'll take the death penalty off if you just talk. I mean, my God, I get it, but that's inappropriate. You're a professional. That's not very professional, in my opinion. I guess this is just how Idaho, certain parts of Idaho work. Maybe it's an Ida no for me. I know that. I know that for a fact that it's an Ida fucking no from that state. And I have family that live there. It's really sad. And it's a beautiful state, some parts of it anyway. But I really hope that whomever, however, Michael's case goes forward, starting right now, I'm going to treat it with the most respect and dignity I can, no matter who or what is complicit in this, because I think that's what you should do for a child who's been allegedly murdered, right? That's what you should do. And that's what I'm going to promise you guys and Michael Vaughan. He deserves sweetness and kindness, true sweetness and kindness, and justice. It's been a long battle trying to get answers. And you never know, your girl Eve might have to be involved more than she ever wanted to be um, in this case. We'll see. Chris said, "You're absolutely right, Eve. It's sad what was done to people around this case. This is a missing child. Michael Summer and Sebastian's case was turned into a shit show. True. And I worry these kids will never have justice. That's it. And it's okay to want to know what happened, or at least the roundabout, not the specifics even. I don't think it's even that to go that far. But what happened? What truly happened in a general sense? And then, the people that were watching this case and investing time, the families, anyone that has a soul that cares about a child, okay? It's okay to want to know what could have um, maybe changed the circumstances to heal yourself from the pain that it caused, right? The public deserves the truth too. Of course, the family does more than anyone else, but the public does too. It's okay to say that. Yeah, there's a reason. I feel for the siblings so much. I do. I have kids. I'm not a heartless, callous person that everyone had tried to put me out to be because I bucked the system on the parents, okay? I'm a decent human being who loves children to protect them. I want them all to be protected by any harm whatsoever. It's just the golden rule, you know? And after talking to who's been named as suspects in this case, even even now, I do not believe they were involved. I will stand on that until the evidence proves me wrong, and I'm okay to be wrong. It's okay. I don't believe that they are involved. There are people in the community that agree. There are a lot of people that agree with me. And I will stand and dig my toes in the sand, in the dirt, whatever, on that because of what I know, what I've researched, what I've had to do to get the information to make sense. It doesn't. So hopefully soon that will be cleared up. I don't know if it will, but we all know circumstantial cases happen all the time. Look at Richard Allen in the Delphi case. He was merely on the fucking bridge that day. And police did everything they could to make circumstantial evidence convict him. And they did it. They did it. And in my heart, I think that he's innocent with the evidence that was provided. I do. And no one really cares, but maybe a group of people that were invested in the case. It's really sad that we will convict people and just move on when there's evidence to prove otherwise. And I have literally tried to prove these four that were named guilty with what I know and what we've discussed and all of the things that were sent to me and what I've sleuthed and blah, blah, blah. I still can't see it. I still don't see it. I there's no motive. There's not a motive in the world. And fuck Dr. John Mathias for saying that it was a sexual deviant motivated crime by STACEY, who had no evidence or anything to back that up with. There's not one single incident ever of that being a problem in his life. I mean, this is just disgusting. It's just disgusting to say that. And what they did to Delphi was also egregious. So fuck them. I'm definitely on the not happy with you guys team. Hidden True Crime. Absolutely. Go look at my ex. It's horrible. I'm pretty anti Lauren and John right now for what they did. But getting back on topic, if this is real and they're being, or STACEY, in specifically STACEY, being charged with murder, I will support the evidence and what it shows. And if it doesn't show it, I'll fight it and buck it. I will help provide the information needed to do that. Absolutely. Because I have it. And they know I have it. So either way this goes, Eve has not changed her mind. Eve has not felt differently. Matter of fact, I feel stronger than ever about where I'm at in this case. However and whenever it begins, whomever is charged. Okay? I stand on it. I will not apologize for it, but it is coming. It absolutely is in motion. And really thankful for everyone who has supported Michael's case through my channel and others. It matters. It does. Yeah, back to ground zero investigation. I mean, there are times, guys, where somebody will be a suspect, if you will, or more, will be um, played with using these detainers and other things to just see if they'll actually do that one last minute confession, right? One more time. And then poof, everything goes back to normal, which has happened to STACEY twice, um, more or less, just in a different way. It's not what you think. And I think that we are jumping the gun here. Well, not us, but others. And we need to just wait, guys. Don't take what anybody says, even myself, um, with 100% certainty until police or a charging document comes. We got to wait. Just wait. And believe me, I will be getting that. Especially 2 or 3 of the suspects. If they get charged, I will know. Absolutely will know immediately. So hang tight. Be good to yourself and be good to other people out there while this is in motion. It's okay to support me and support others who don't support me. It's okay to do that. Just be kind. Do it the right way for Michael. Don't make this a battle. It's going to be very easy to get into the drama that will begin because, of course, they're going to say, Eve was wrong. Let's go crucify her and everybody that believed in her. And it's not about that, guys. It's not about any of that. It's about Michael getting the right justice from the right people who actually did this. That's all that matters. That's it. To me, it just seemed they had found an easy target with STACEY. Yeah, they're very easy to pinpoint. Need I remind you of how many times the police had visited their home since July 27th? A lot. A lot. STACEY said, come on in. I think it was 3 months later after Michael disappeared. Come check out the gas is not working and I can't call the homeowner, which was Sarah's mother. She's out. Can you help? I mean, things like that. If you did something to a child, I highly doubt you're going to call for your heater going out. Stuff like that. I don't trust anyone else but Eve when it comes to Michael's case. You're in a good spot. Thank you. I really appreciate that. If you have a question about this case, more than likely I will have it for you. And not to toot my own horn, but toot on that. I've worked very hard. And I've worked very hard to keep the things that weren't supposed to be seen hidden. Because I don't want to fuck up a case. I don't want to mess up his justice. It matters that much to me, at least. A lot of things that you hear about STACEY and Brandon are not true. I really can't speak, and Sarah too. I can't speak on Adrian much, but what I can say is that he is not a trafficker of that way. One of the detectives wanted to make it very clear that he was a sex trafficker. Adrian is not at all. Drugs? Sure. Yeah, for sure. But the other is not true. And I don't know why that rumor got started and continued, but it's not true. And a lot of the theories that were put out there by people who I assume feel like they're supporting the family by doing these heinous acts behind the scene, it's very weird to me that the police followed through with that. Was it because they had to eliminate it so that it couldn't be used as a defense later? For instance, if you're adamant that you've done your research and you're a family member and you see Brandon's post from 2 years ago mention some wild ass theory you come up with, you would be a fool as a law enforcement officer or a detective to not go vet that tip out just in case, right? Just in case. Oh, thank you, Cryptics. Thank you. I agree they don't appear to be your typical crime committee to that extent. Yeah. And they're not, in my opinion, these at least the 3 out of the 4. So Adrian excluded. I think that they're not your socially normal average person. I'm trying to be nice here. A few marbles got loose in the juice here. Okay, they were not normal. They're not your average people. They're very easy to be manipulated by people around them. Very easy. I could tell that from talking to them. And it would not behoove me if, come to find out, it was people around them that took advantage of them that could be complicit for sure. And I'm actually waiting for those people to be charged, to be honest with you. Yeah. So, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Most definitely, there's going to be more information tomorrow that I was planning on going through in more detail. I'm going to slam down some of this Theraflu hot lemon tea. Oh my God. It's disgusting but delicious at the same time because I'm sick and you can barely taste it. So I'm going to make it work, but I'm going to have a lot more for you tomorrow when I'm not so tired. Thank you so much for staying with me this late, and much love to you guys. Justice for Michael is in motion. I will be here every step of the way. You know it. And we're going to do it the right way on this channel as best as I can. All right. You know, as I say, drink your water. Hug yourself, your babies, your fur babies. Take some Zicam. I don't even know if it really helps, but it's worth a shot because this flu or this cold out here is wretched. It's wretched. And take care, and I'll see you guys on the next live. Bye now.
Thank you for being with me while doing live streams. It means a lot to me. You are appreciated. See you on next live. Take care and spend your energy wisely. Life, take care and spend your energy wisely.